Joining me now is Victorian Libertarian Party MP David Limbrick and media writer for The Australian, Sophie Elsworth. Guys, thanks so much for coming on tonight. So much to talk about. Sophie, I want to talk to you about this first story here because I reckon this is such a fascinating media story. Now, there's a show in the United States. It's on MSNBC. Apparently, it's the Biden White House's favorite show. It's called Morning Joe. It's hosted by Joe Scarborough, and they go on with some of the wackiest, hardest left talking points. It's basically like the hard left talking points of the day go out through this show. They've pulled it off the air now in the wake of the Donald Trump assassination attempt, and I am fascinated by this, that the executives at MSNBC did not trust their host or their guests not to say something really classless and in bad taste. Is that an indicator of where the left media is in America right now?
Well, James, you know this better than anyone who consumes this American news and politics more than most of us. But this is a real concern that one of their major news networks does not trust their own people in the wake of this assassination attack on Donald Trump, an attempt to assassinate him. This is just unbelievable that the biggest event of this year in US politics, I would argue, I think many would say that is the case, that this show doesn't have the faith in their hosts and their guests to speak fairly, diplomatically, respectfully about Donald Trump. And I think that's a very sad state of affairs for our media landscape when it stoops to this level that we can't even get people on air because we're worried what they will say.
Yeah, now, David, I want to continue on this theme here because, of course, we did see that very scary attempt to murder the presidential candidate Donald Trump and potential future president and really change the course of American and world history. There's a lot of concern in Australia, too, that MPs might be under threat. Now, we had Anthony Albanese speak, I think, pretty eloquently the other day about the way Australia is. We don't have those security bubbles, but there's also been calls for a review into the security arrangements for MPs. As an MP yourself, a state MP, do you feel like you're under threat? Do you feel like you need more security? Do you think that we've got it right? What are your thoughts?
Well, look, I mean, you know, I don't personally feel under threat because everyone likes libertarians, but what's been happening with this, the way that moral posturing from the left primarily has been happening, everything is an existential threat. So if you think about global warming, you know, if we don't do what they say, everyone's going to die. If we think about Palestine, if you don't agree with them, we're going to be committing genocide. If you think about, you know, all of these other issues, if you don't agree with it, then the world's going to end. It's only a matter of time before someone does the moral calculations on that and thinks that violence is the answer. Violence isn't the answer, and we need to pull back on this stuff and say, hang on, the world isn't going to end, and maybe we need to be more considered about these things.